want to welcome you to our Teacher of the Year ceremony. This is one of our favorite events every year. I want to introduce some folks. You'll hear shortly from our Superintendent, Dr. Gordon Pritz. We also have Associate Superintendent, Ms. Sue Vess Ricks. We also have Associate Superintendent, Dr. Catherine McGurk. We also have Board Member Larry Barnes and Vice Chairman, and Board Member Dr. Sam Haskell. Our other two board members wish to be here, but they couldn't get off work early enough. But this is one of our favorite events to be to, and I want to welcome you here. Most of you are here in support of one or maybe two folks that are here. But as you hear the names called, if you can just think about the lives that each one of these people touch, it's amazing. And for us on the board, it's an honor to be here and to be in the presence of these talented people. So welcome, and we hope you enjoy the festivities today. Thank you, and I'll call on our Superintendent, Dr. Pritz now.
Thank you, Mr. Bartlett. Thank you, members of the board that are here with us today to celebrate this great occasion. And thank you for all of you that have come today to celebrate what is truly a highlight of the school year as we recognize those folks who so unselfishly give of their time, their efforts, and their heart to our kids. It is a fitting occasion to come together today and recognize these folks. And it is certainly a privilege for us to have this opportunity to do so right here in Douglas County. These folks are exceptionally dedicated, knowledgeable, and they're skilled. And each one of them inspires students to learn, and they have the respect and admiration of those students, their parents, and their colleagues, and of course, all of us who serve them throughout the system as administrators. These teachers play an active and useful role in the community as well as in our schools. So let's give them a big round of applause before we get started. I hope today that as we recognize these folks that you are inspired by what you see and what you hear. And I hope that the folks that serve in our schools, and I would like for all the teachers in the audience to stand up. If you're a teacher in the Douglas County school system, now or in the past, please stand up. Thank you. And as we recognize these 32, we recognize you today as well because you give of so much of your time. Thank you so much. This time I'd like to recognize all the previous county level Teachers of the Year, beginning with our most recent. All of you are invited to come up to the front of the stage. I guess that's the directions that I'm supposed to give you. And when I call your name, we want you to raise your hand so we can recognize you. So all the former Teachers of the Year who are in the audience today, come on up. And we'll let them stand up here in front of us. And I hope they're all here, but I'm going to recognize by name. And as I recognize you by name, if you'll just, as you do with your students, please raise your hand. And we'll recognize you. Ryan Adams, Myron Terry, Shelley Hester, Kim Thompson, Pam Walker, Nancy Wittenberger, two-time Douglas County Teacher of the Year, Lisa Golden, Reed Durbin, Patricia Mills, Mandy Johnson, Cynthia Burnett, Diane Matthews, Alicia Stanley, Sandra Hunt, Beverly Pointer, Diane Mack, Dorothy Sparks, Amy Cohn, Karen Barber, Jamel Barrett, Barbara Leip, Jean Carolyn Williams, and Cecilia Stressener. I probably said that wrong. Let's recognize them. Thank you. Thank you all. Thanks for being here today. Thank you. Douglas County is also very proud and privileged to have two former Georgia Teachers of the Year in our system. And I'd like to recognize Miss Jean Carolyn Williams, retired principal, and Miss Pam Walker, one of our instructional coaches. And if they're here, we'd like for them to stand. Miss Williams was selected as the Douglas County Teacher of the Year for the year 1987-88, and she went on to be named Georgia Teacher of the Year that year. And Miss Walker was selected as Douglas County Teacher of the Year in 2005 and 6, and she was named Georgia Teacher of the Year in that same year. Congratulations, Miss Williams and Miss Walker. And let's now take a moment to recognize any retired Douglas County educators who might be with us today. Our system's successes have been built on the foundation of these educators, and if you are a former Douglas County teacher who has now retired and is really enjoying life, we would like for you to stand where you are so that we can recognize you. All our retired teachers in the audience. And now it gives me great privilege to recognize and call to the stage our 2009-2010 Douglas County Teacher of the Year and High School Teacher of the Year, Mr. Ryan Adams. Ryan teaches advanced placement biology, human anatomy and physiology, and the Georgia High School remediation class for the graduation test at Alexander High School. Ryan, share some words with us.
Thank you, Dr. Pritz. It's a great honor to be here today and talk to you guys about the selection process for Teacher of the Year. It was a privilege for me to serve on this year's Teacher of the Year selection committee. We spent many hours reading, reviewing applications, and interviewing candidates and observing them in their classrooms. Selecting our semifinalists, finalists, and the Teacher of the Year was a very difficult process. Those who served with me on the committee are Ioka Duncan with Members First Credit Union, Angela Haynes, 2009-2010 Middle School Teacher of the Year, Tracy Moore, 2009-2010 Elementary School Teacher of the Year, Patty Puckett with Ameriprise Financial, Sylvester Ricks, Associate Superintendent of Student Support and Services, Melanie Robinson with United Way, Chris Stanley with Design Solutions Group Incorporated, and Rollins Walker, American Family Insurance, Rollins Walker Agency. Would these committee members please stand, and I ask that you join me in thanking them for their time and commitment on the committee. Thank you. The County Teacher of the Year selection process began with each school selecting a teacher to represent their school in the program. The selected teachers then completed a detailed application form and submitted it to the County Community Relations Office. Our committee of 9 people spent many hours reading these applications. 8 teachers were selected from the group, 2 each from the middle and high school level, and 4 from the elementary school level. The next step in the selection process was a 30-minute classroom observation of each semifinalist teaching in their classroom. We all enjoyed these visits and wanted to spend more time in their classrooms. On behalf of the entire committee, we express admiration for all 8 of these outstanding educators. We also interviewed each of the 8 semifinalists. After the interview process, the committee named 3 teachers as finalists, 1 to represent each level, elementary, middle, and high school. Each committee member also indicated their choice for the Douglas County Teacher of the Year, and this was indeed a very difficult task. I appreciate the opportunity that I have had to serve as the Douglas County Teacher of the Year, and I'm very honored to be a teacher in the Douglas County school system. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Ryan. And I appreciate, Ryan, the way you've represented our school system over this last year and the time away from your students and fulfilling your role as Teacher of the Year. And we appreciate that so much. Thank you. Let's have a big round of applause for Ryan. I know that we are in a house of worship, and sometimes when we're in a house of worship, we feel like we should be somewhat subdued and act appropriately. But we are here to recognize and thank people today for their sacrifice to their calling, and I truly believe it is for each of them. And so it's a very appropriate place to be today to recognize our Teachers of the Year. And so I hope that as we call each of their names, that you will enthusiastically recognize them. And we would like to begin the recognition program with John Gray. He will be the voice from the sky, introducing you to each of the 32 school-level Teachers of the Year, and we'll call them up alphabetically by school. Mr. Gray?
It is now our privilege to introduce to you the 32 individuals who represent their school this year as the School-Level Teacher of the Year. Each of these teachers was selected for the honor because they are known by their professional colleagues to be exceptionally dedicated, knowledgeable, and skilled teachers. Mike Badowski. Mr. Badowski is a 13-year teaching veteran with 11 of those years in the Douglas County school system. He believes that education is a never-ending process and that all individuals should become and should encourage to become lifelong learners. Phoenicia Habersham, Annette Wynn Elementary. Ms. Habersham began teaching art in 1996 and taught art to all age groups. She believes her role as a teacher is to provide a positive learning environment that allows children to take risk without fearing failure. She strives to help her students grow, and in return, they will help her to grow as well. Kim Wethington, Arbor Station Elementary. Ms. Wethington has been an educator for 17 years and has spent her entire career at Arbor Station. She believes that education is the key to our success as a nation. She feels her greatest contribution to education is that her students know that the most important thing is them in her classroom. Michelle Bowen, Beulah Elementary. Ms. Bowen began teaching in 2005 and is a product of the Douglas County school system. Her philosophy of education is that every child deserves to learn and every teacher should ensure that they do. She believes that teachers should find the strengths of their students and plan instruction accordingly. Jenny Stoner, Bill Arp Elementary. Ms. Stoner has been teaching over 22 years. She states that teaching is a calling, a lifestyle, not a job. It should always be focused on the main goal, the development of the student. She believes the education of children is a partnership, a joint responsibility of parents, students, schools, and communities. Wendy Hurd, Bright Star Elementary. Ms. Hurd began her teaching career in 2003. Her overall goal of teaching is to motivate, challenge, encourage, and empower all students to fall in love with learning so that they can become lifelong learners. She is passionate about teaching and strives to make the love of learning infectious to all of her students. Brianna Turner, Burnett Elementary. Ms. Turner has been teaching since 2005. She is extremely proud to tell others she is a teacher. She believes teachers will make the strongest impact on students when they listen to their stories, care about their feelings, are compassionate about their problems, and show them that they simply care. Nicole Venuto, Chapel Hill Elementary. Ms. Venuto is in her 6th year of teaching. The most rewarding part of teaching for her is realizing the change she is able to make in her students' lives. She strives to show them care and concern, and is then able to see that care and concern turn into academic as well as social growth. Marcia Morris, Chapel Hill High School. Ms. Morris began teaching in 2007. She believes the purpose of education is to provide a solid foundation that will prepare students for life in an ever-changing society. Her role in education is to provide students with a firm basis to learn and grow, and make it a point to have a classroom environment that encourages questions. Galen Droke, Chapel Hill Middle. Mr. Droke is a veteran educator of 26 years in Douglas County. He is proud of his profession and is honored to call himself a teacher. One of the greatest rewards of his teaching career is to have many of his former students now as his peers in the education field. Judy Strickland, Chestnut Log Middle. Ms. Strickland began teaching in 1996. She believes that people, especially teachers, can make a difference in a child's life and ultimately in the world. Teaching not only makes all the professions possible, it also helps us as a society to change and grow. Jennifer Lano, Dorset Shoals Elementary. Miss Lano has had the pleasure of teaching students with exceptional needs for the past 11 years. She makes it her personal goal for students to feel accepted at school. It is a priority for her to create an environment that is nurturing as well as challenging for students who learn in different ways. Bree Heaton, Douglas County High School. Miss Heaton began teaching in 2002 and believes that respecting each other is just one part of high school learning. She strives to teach her students to be respectful and learn from their peers. Miss Heaton feels truly blessed to be able to love her job and can't imagine being anything else except a teacher. Ches Clemens, Eastside Elementary. Miss Clemens joined the Douglas County School System in 2008. She believes that teachers help to shape the hopes and dreams of the most precious members of our society, our children. The investment made in our children today determines the future success of our nation and our world. Shaquita Gatewood, Factory Shoals Elementary. Miss Gatewood has been an educator for 10 years. She believes every child has the ability to learn and strives to challenge her students to be the very best they can possibly be. In her opinion, teachers do what they do because they love helping others people's dreams come true. Tanya Avent, Factory Shoals Middle. Miss Avent began teaching in 2001. She takes pride in creating an environment where students respect learning, their peers, and their teacher. Miss Avent encourages all educators to remember that they are shaping the minds of our future and that the finished product is our greatest reward. Sylvia Bailey, Fairplay Middle. Miss Bailey started teaching in 2001 and teaches a study skills and math connections class. Her heartfelt belief is that what she is teaching has to translate to the real world before it will have understanding for students. She strives to make her class real, relevant, active, and the students love it. Sharon Shores, Holly Springs Elementary. Ms. Shores has been teaching since 1990. She feels her greatest contribution to education is the care and concern that she has for her students. Consequently, for her greatest accomplishments in education are the accomplishments of her students. She is proud and honored to be a teacher. Anita Morris, Lithia Springs Elementary. Ms. Morris is in her 13th year of teaching. For her, teaching provides an opportunity for continual learning and growth. She feels her real-world teaching style, high behavior expectations, and concerns for her students have resulted in a classroom environment that is focused on learning and mutual respect. Debbie Vincent, Lithia Springs High School. Miss Vincent has been teaching at Lithia Springs since 2001. Her focus and desire is to educate students who are interested in pursuing careers in the medical field. She feels that teachers must set the example and must strive to inspire and influence their students. Cindy McGill, Mason Creek Elementary. Ms. McGill is a veteran teacher with over 25 years' experience. She believes that teaching is a responsibility that goes beyond the classroom and long after the children have gone home for the day. The opportunity to help mold the lives of children and prepare them for the future is truly a gift. Mary Gann, Mason Creek Middle. Ms. Gann has been teaching middle school since 1990. To her, teaching is a journey of discovery for students as well as for the teachers. One of her greatest accomplishments in teaching has been trying to help every one of her students learn and receive the best education they can attain. Rhonda Stitley, Mirror Lake Elementary. Ms. Stitley has been teaching for 5 years. Her mission is to make a difference in someone's life each day, to be a compassionate and enthusiastic educator who meets all the needs of all students so they will become a motivated and successful learner. Ann Dix, Mount Carmel Elementary. Ms. Dix began teaching in 1995 and spent her entire career at Mount Carmel. She is also a product of the Douglas County school system. Ms. Dix states that seeing someone learn what you have taught them is such a blessing and gives her a feeling of accomplishment. Students are her first concern. Jenna Ogley Marvin, New Manchester Elementary. Miss Marvin began her teaching career at New Manchester in 2005. She believes that a true educator should strive to find the learning styles that can best help the students in that particular class and create an environment that enables the students to succeed to their fullest. Terry George, North Douglas Elementary. Miss George is a veteran educator with more than 25 years' experience of service in Douglas County. She believes every child can be successful. You just have to find out what motivates each individual. Miss George strives to ensure that each child knows that they are loved, cared for, and will encounter no criticism if they fail. Lynn Jenkins, South Douglas Elementary. Miss Jenkins has been teaching since 1999. She states that it is a pleasure for her to watch her students learn, and in turn, she learns from them. Her goal is to make a difference in the lives of the students each day. She feels truly blessed to be able to take an active role in the lives of so many wonderful children. Zanita Hartzog, Stewart Middle. Miss Hartzog began teaching in 2002, and she has been teaching reading at Stewart since 2004. She feels her greatest contribution to education is her enthusiastic love of and ever-evolving commitment to her students, her discipline, and her teaching profession. Jeannie McDougall, Sweetwater Elementary. Miss McDougall started teaching in 1997 at Sweetwater. Children touch her life with their innocence and honesty, and it thrills her to watch her students learn something new. She strives to instill love of learning into her students' lives. Her daily rewards are hugs, smiles, and words of appreciation. Tanya Strickland, Turner Middle. Ms. Strickland is in her 19th year of teaching as a mathematics teacher. She states the greatest accomplishment happens each day when she helps a child learn something that they did not know before. Ms. Strickland looks forward to working with students daily to help them reach their personal and academic goals. Tina Joyner, Winston Elementary. Ms. Joyner has been teaching at Winston for 15 years. She states that there are many rewards in teaching, but the greatest reward of all is when a child wakes up each day, excited to come to her class and learn something new. She believes that parents, teachers, and students must work together to achieve the goals of education in Georgia. Demetra Bryant, Yeager Middle. Ms. Bryant states she is honored to teach students with disabilities. She feels her greatest contribution to education is the gift of listening and communicating. Ms. Bryant says the smallest whisper can open the doors of knowledge, and hope is unlocking the mind of achieving her students' wildest dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our 32 school-level Teachers of the Year. Please give them a big round of applause.
Part of the process that all the teachers go through is narrowing down, if you will. And we're going to recognize the semifinalists, and these are the 8 teachers you see seated directly behind me. And I'd like to talk about each one of them now, and as I do so, I'd like to ask that person to come up and stand next to me so everybody can look at you and take pictures. Our elementary school semifinalists, alphabetically by school, are Jennifer Lano from Dorset Shoals Elementary, Shaquita Gatewood of Factory Shoals Elementary School, Anita Morris from Lithia Springs Elementary, and Cindy McGill of Mason Creek. So as I call your names, come on up, and Miss Lano, you are first. The Teacher of the Year judges felt that Miss Lano was a very compassionate teacher, and they were impressed by her genuine love for her students. Ms. Lano feels her greatest contributions and accomplishments in teaching are the bonds that she has created with her students. The students in her class often hear her say, "We are a team in here." She believes a quality teacher is a person who cares not only about increasing test scores, but increasing confidence levels in his or her students. They look at teaching as more than a career choice, it's a pathway to changing and developing our futures. Thank you, Ms. Lano, and congratulations. Ms. Gatewood. Our judges were very impressed with Ms. Gatewood's passion about teaching and her compassion for her students. Ms. Gatewood states that when she first started teaching over 10 years ago, it was never her goal to earn awards. Her goal has and will always be to make a lasting, positive impact on the lives of every student she encounters. She is always searching for more creative and effective ways to reach her students. She states that serving as a teacher is a very rewarding profession. One of her greatest rewards is seeing the lives of her students changed because of the experience they encountered within her class. Thank you, Ms. Gatewood, and congratulations. Ms. Morris. When visiting Ms. Morris's class, our committee members were impressed with her incredible control of the classroom while focusing on the needs of each student. Ms. Morris believes that teaching is a journey and not one that can be taught in a book or at a university. In her 3rd year of teaching, she was trained in reading recovery. She's seen reading recovery and the power of early intervention break the cycle of failure for her with struggling students. She feels like she's taken the saying, "A house without books is like a house without windows," and built on it to reach beyond the classroom and into the community, which so tremendously affects it. Thank you, Ms. Morris, for all you do. Ms. McGill. After visiting Ms. McGill's class, our judges commented on the creative and loving ways that she used to integrate multiple subjects into her art class. Ms. McGill believes one of her greatest accomplishments as an educator occurs when her students have the opportunity to shine. It's at that moment when they realize they too have a tremendous impact on the success of their school. She feels that in order to teach children, we must first reach out to them with support and encouragement. With so many issues concerning the best way to educate children, it can be quite easy to lose the true focus, the students. Congratulations, Ms. McGill. And now our middle school semifinalists. They are Galen Droke of Chapel Hill Middle School and Zanita Herzog from Stewart Middle. And I'd like Mr. Droke to come up. Our Teacher of the Year committee agreed that Mr. Droke is a passionate teacher. They felt that he develops interesting lessons to reach students with diverse learning preferences. Mr. Droke states that he has been in the education field long enough to see the fruits of his labor, over 26 years. The deeper he gets into his teaching career, the deeper the rewards become. He believes that your attitude concerning your profession is evident each and every day. Students feed off your attitude when they're in your classroom. He believes a positive attitude and a sense of humor can be your greatest assets as a teacher. Thank you, Mr. Droke. Ms. Hartzog. When visiting Ms. Hartzog's class, our committee members stated that she's provided many opportunities for her students to learn and was truly interested in their academic growth. Ms. Hartzog originally wanted to finish college, go to graduate school, earn her PhD, and become a well-published college professor. She chose teaching middle schoolers instead. Each year, she strives to not only make a difference in the lives of her students, but to also be that difference. She empowers her students to take ownership of their learning experience and the environment. This philosophy has yielded amazing results for students' achievement and unbelievable rewards for her. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now our high school semifinalists, Mr. Mike Badowski of Alexander High School and Debbie Vincent from Lithia Springs High School. Mr. Badowski, can you come up? Our committee members all agreed that Mr. Badowski's class was fun as well as challenging. They felt that he was very creative in his teaching style. Mr. Badowski believes that students must be taught to challenge and to question. They have to be taught to ask the all-important question, why? It is by questioning that we're able to reach a true understanding. He strives to make education fun. If students know that you care about them, will have fun with them, challenge them, and demand the best they can give, they will rise to the challenge and succeed beyond their own expectations. Thank you, Mr. Badowski. Congratulations. And finally, Ms. Vincent. The Teacher of the Year committee was impressed with Ms. Vincent's confidence in teaching her subject matter. It was clearly evident that she cared about the success of her students. At an early age, Ms. Vincent's parents challenged her to find a profession that she would love to do for the rest of her life. She chose teaching because it is an amazing profession in which you can enrich the lives of hundreds. She believes that outstanding students are created by teachers who demand consistency from students throughout their learning process. Her focus and desire is to teach students who are interested in pursuing careers in the medical field. Thank you. We appreciate all you do. And please join me now in one more congratulations for our 8 semifinalists. And now, as we narrow it down a little further, we're down to our 3 finalists, and I ask that as I call your name, you step forward. The selection committee as a whole agreed that our elementary teacher of the year has a genuine love of teaching and was simply amazing. They were impressed by the level of passion for education exhibited by this teacher. This teacher's principal stated, "She is one of the most dedicated teachers that I have ever known. She has a genuine love for her students and has the best interests of those students always in mind." The mother of one of the former students states, "She paved the way for my son to make progress and become the young man he is today. When we talk about former teachers, she is always on top." Her coworker states, "This teacher displays a high degree of integrity, responsibility, and ambition. She takes time to get to know the families and the backgrounds of each of her students. She is a teacher that all teachers should model themselves after." Our elementary teacher of the year has been trained extensively in reading recovery and provides her students with research-based strategies that improve their reading abilities. She states that this training helped her realize that she could have a substantial and positive impact on the literacy development of all her students, especially those low-achieving students. Congratulations to our elementary teacher of the year, Anita Morris, Lithia Springs Elementary. We got a plaque for you. Just stay right here. And now for our middle school teacher of the year. Our committee members were impressed by this teacher's passion and capability to motivate all students. They were captivated by the lesson being taught. This teacher believes that educators can make a difference in the lives of their students by believing in them. This person states that the classroom environment should be one of nurturing and caring. This teacher is the consummate professional educator. Student engagement is at optimal levels, and truly meaningful instruction is the standard in this classroom, writes this teacher's principal. A former student writes, "This person had a major influence in my life. I was in their 7th grade classroom. Through the years, this person has been my mentor, my friend, and now I'm honored to say, my colleague. This person's belief in me helped me to believe in myself." After 26 years in Douglas County, this teacher has numerous former students who have chosen the teaching profession as their career. This teacher states, this transcends any recognition or award that he could ever receive. Congratulations to our middle school Teacher of the Year, Galen Droke, Chapel Hill Middle. And now for our high school Teacher of the Year. Our committee members were amazed by the student comprehension of a difficult topic being taught in the classroom when they visited. This teacher volunteers in the community and states that being involved with young people outside of school develops a bond between the teacher and student. A colleague writes, "This teacher exemplifies what a teacher should be. This person is dedicated to perfection and hard work." The department chair writes, "This teacher offers additional help to any student who needs it. Expectations are exceeded, and the student's needs are always first." The high school Teacher of the Year has dabbled with ideas of other professions, but deep down knew that teaching was their calling. Education was important to the people who were important to this teacher. A former student states, "The impact of this teacher on my life is comparable to that of an asteroid striking the earth. He not only educated me about world and European history, but also about life. Therefore, as Henry Brooks Adam once said, a teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. And Mr. Badowski's influence will forever be immeasurable." Congratulations, Mike Badowski. I would like to personally thank all our local businesses for their support this year. We had over 100 businesses offer support to the 2010-2011 Teacher of the Year program. And I would also like to ask all of our business representatives who are here today that provided this support to please stand so that we can thank you. If you'll please stand. I hope and will encourage you to patronize these businesses and thank them for their support of education in our county. These are difficult economic times, as we all know, yet these businesses genuinely care about education, and they put their money where their mouth is. This is the reason they offered their support this year, to support our teachers. We also want to say a big thank you to First Baptist Church of Douglasville in allowing us to utilize this facility today. Thank you. Let's have a applause for that. And I want to thank the voice from above, John Gray with Graddick Communications, with taking care of all the wonderful announcing today. Thank you, John. The businesses who provided contributions, gifts, and other support are listed in your program. I hope you'll take some time to read that list and thank these businesses for their support and visit them. I hope you all have had the opportunity to enjoy some of the cake that Sam's donated. And also some of the punch that was served today, provided through the generosity of our financial supporters. The graphic design of our Teacher of the Year logo and the design and layout of our printed programs were created and donated by Chris Stanley with Design Solutions Group Incorporated. Thank you, Mr. Stanley. The large permanent Teacher of the Year display boards were provided by Teresa McConnell with Graphics Vision. This program would not be possible without the efforts of many people who work together throughout the year to honor our Teachers of the Year. I ask that all members of our Partners in Education Committee and board members of the Public Education Trust please stand. We'd like for you to stand at this time. That's all the members of our committee and the Public Education Trust. A number of school system, business, and community supporters have volunteered their time and talent to help us stage this recognition event today. If you are a volunteer for the reception, please stand so we can recognize you as well. I'd also like to recognize some school system employees who assisted with the preparation of today's event. Candy Benedict, Ruby Byers, Christy Farrell, Melissa Joe, and Jane Melton. Let's give them a round of applause. And I would also like to say a special thank you to the following Central Office staff members who've worked very hard over the last several months, securing all these gifts for our honorees, as well as coordinating this event. Please thank Melanie Nicholson, Brenda Spain, Mitzi Teal, and Karen Stroud, the organizer of this event. Thank you. We really appreciate you coming today. Please drive safely. Sorry. All right, now for the big moment. Before we announce our top honoree, I'd like to invite Trey Dettermering to come forward. Trey, are you here? There you are. Trey is with John Thornton Chevrolet. And Trey is holding a key that we're going to hand the Teacher of the Year, which will be used to redeem for a Chevrolet Malibu for use for 6 months. Thank you, Trey. Thank you, Thornton. Thank you. This is an outstanding gift, and we certainly appreciate the support of John Thornton Chevrolet. And now for our announcement of the 2010-2011 Douglas County Teacher of the Year. This teacher enjoys sharing knowledge and helping others. This teacher is exciting, motivating, inspiring, and strongly believes in the teaching profession. This teacher is an encouragement to students and teachers alike. Our committee as a whole agreed that it was a pleasure and very enlightening to have observed this teacher. They stated that this teacher's emphasis on reading, writing, and critical thinking was outstanding. This teacher's mother and grandmother made an impression regarding the rewards of education. The product of a broken home, this person grew up for the most part without a father. Mostly, he lived in a world of women. His mother realized that he needed to have male influences in his life, good men who cared about who he was and what he would become. He was taught that the one thing you could count on in life was the benefit of an education. He remembers and appreciates the positive male role models he had in his life while growing up. He teaches so he can give back and give guidance to his students as they travel the road to adulthood. He wants to pass on the gifts that were given to him. This teacher played briefly in the National Football League while earning a secondary teaching certificate. I think you got it figured out by now. He's currently working on his doctorate in education, which he expects to complete in 2012. One of our judges remarked, he will represent Douglas County as a professional, passionate educator. And I think we all agree. Please join me in congratulating this outstanding educator, our Douglas County 2010-2011 Teacher of the Year, Mike Badowski.
Thank you. I feel like I just won Miss Universe. I appreciate it. Truly unexpected and truly a great honor. Thank you. I don't know how long I have before I break down, So I'll try to make it short and sweet. When you talk about my mom, he got me a little bit there. But my wife and boys, love you, thank you. My mom, who's back in Missouri, probably kicking herself because she didn't come right now. My mother and father-in-law, who've done so much for us, I'd like to thank them. Mr. Rob Brown, who a couple years ago gave me a chance and brought me over to Alexander, and Mr. Nathan Hand, who's our principal now. And thank you for putting up with me and dealing with me on a daily basis. Patty Mills, who's not here, she's my department head. She's a wonderful lady and taught me a lot, and truly respect and admire her. And Mr. Ryan Adams, who gave me a lot of help and insight as I tried to prepare for this during the summer months and getting the papers written and everything else. And my great social studies department I have at the Alexander, they're phenomenal. My good friends at the Chapel Hill High School social study department, they've given a lot over the years. And I do want to thank one person in particular, Travis Ritchie, who wrote that lovely letter for me back during the summer months, and I had to threaten him with his life a couple times to get it done. But thank you so much, Travis. I truly appreciate it. He came here today for this. I will represent Douglas County to the best of my ability, and I will do service to this teaching profession. I'll do honor to this teaching profession. As long as I live, I love it. Thank you all so very much.
Congratulations, Mike, and I'd like for Trey with John Thornton Chevrolet to come up and give you a little key to a car here. How about one big round of applause for all our teachers, the 32, and all our teachers here today. Thank you so much for being here today to share this special time with us. Please drive safely and enjoy the evening. Thank you so much.